Okay, hi everyone. This is going to be a short video where I'm just going to show you how to do some simple operations with the Gallery 3435 project file and how to export these so that we can add them in to the Unity file and export them to make a real-time navigatable game. Alright, so first of all, as we discussed in class, if you look in the scene collection, you should be able to find a gallery with your name on it. And of course, I forgot to add a gallery for Alice. So Alice, you are now here. Okay, and I'll save that. All right, so what I'm going to do is let's go into Alice's gallery. So if I tick and untick this box, I can see that Alice's gallery is on the bottom right. So what I'll do is I'm going to put an image on the TV. I'll put the TV on the wall, and then I'll add in some basic shapes, and we'll export all of them so that I can import them into Unity. So first of all, I'll go into material preview mode so I can just see approximately what everything's looking like. Just let my computer catch up. Okay, so I've prepared a couple of things just so that we have our file storage in a nice clean way. So, it looks like I started with Albert's gallery, so I'll move over to Albert's gallery in a moment. But what I was going to do is I've made a new folder called Albert Test 1 Assets, and I've made a folder in that called Albert Test 1 Models and Albert Test 1 Texture. And you can see I've also got an image ready to go here, which is William Blake's portrait of Isaac Newton. And the other thing I've done is, if you look down here at its dimensions, I've made its pixel dimensions the same size as a high definition video, which just means it's going to be the exact right shape for this TV screen or for any 16:9 monitor or projector or whatever. Okay, so sorry Alice, I'll go over to Albert's gallery just for consistency. Now where's Albert? Okay, Albert's over here. Okay, so first of all, let's put the TV on the wall. So as I said in class, I've already applied the scale, rotation and location of this TV, but I actually want to set it back so that the location is back on this object, because at the moment, if I rotate it, you'll see it's rotating. If I zoom out, it's rotating around the origin point of the scene because I've set its location to 0, and for our purposes that's a bit annoying for while we're working. So I'll just set it back, set origin, back origin to geometry, and what that will mean now if I rotate it is just rotating around its own central point. Okay, so let's put it on the wall. First thing I want to do is rotate it back to being vertical. So let's look down the y-axis. I'll just click on Y here, Z, wireframe, and G, Z to lift it up. And then let's rotate it on the y-axis to make it flat. And rotate it on the y-axis just to get it straight. And let's just look from the top down. Let's put it in the middle of the room. So perhaps I'll just grab it on the y-axis and put it in the middle of the room. Now let's go back into material preview mode. And let's, I might just delete the cable. So if I look down the x-axis, and I'll go into wireframe mode again by pressing Z, and I'll hit tab to go into edit mode, and 3 to go into face select mode. I'm just going to delete all the faces of this cable. Maybe I'll look down from the top, that might be easier to shift select these. Okay, X and delete faces. Okay, my screen's getting a bit yellow, just let me turn off this. Okay, that's better. Alright, so let's go back to material preview mode, and the TV is now flat on the wall. Okay, so now let's put something on the screen. So as I mentioned in class, if I just add in Shift A, a cube or something now, it's probably going to turn up yeah, the last place I had my 3D cursor, which is over here somewhere, and that's not what we want. We want it to turn up where we've been working here in Albert's gallery. So I'm going to delete this cube, and I'll just go back into Albert's gallery here. And if I press Shift and right click on my TV, you can see that the 3D cursor has moved onto the TV. So now if I press Shift A, add mesh, add a plane, the plane is added to where the 3D cursor is. So to get this plane to fit the TV, I'll simply rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis. That didn't work. Try that again. Rotate 90. I forgot to press Y. Rotate Y 90. Okay. And now I'm going to just change its dimensions here to 1.6 by 0.9 to get a 16 by 9 size. And if I look down the x-axis again, go into Y-frame, just see how close we are to the TV itself. Still a little bit big, so I might just scale it down. It looks like we're going to, yeah, okay, so the TV is 16 by 9, that's great. Okay, I might just make it a tiny bit bigger than that screen. And then grab it on the Z, bring it down. Maybe a little bit bigger, there we go. And I'll just bring it a little bit across on the y-axis. Okay, so now the last thing I want to do is just make sure that the screen is sort of sitting in front of the TV. So it's pretty close, but I just want to bring it forward a tiny bit, grab it on the what axis? On the x-axis, and just make sure it's, yeah, sitting behind the frame, but in front of the screen. So that'll do. Righto. Okay, so next thing, I'll just apply the transforms of this screen now. Shift A, all transforms. So we've gone back to 0, 0, and 1. And then I'm going to add the material for the TV screen. So I'll go into the shading mode. And where's my TV gone? Okay, over here. I'm going to just focus on the object there. To focus there, I pressed F because I've set my keyboard mapping to focus on the screen. But if you've got a regular keyboard with a numpad, the decimal point dot on the numpad should focus on an object for you. Okay, so now I'm looking at this screen here, and I'm going to add the William Blake image. So I'll just go into Material Preview so we can see what we're adding. First of all, I'm just going to UV unwrap the object. I'll press Tab, U, unwrap, and Smart UV Project. And now I'm going to add a new material. And I'm going to find where I put that William Blake image now. Vertical list. Look, rather than go through my entire computer, I might just add it in this way. I'll Shift, add image, texture, open, and recently I can just get to it, wherever you've kept it. I've put it in Albert Test 1 Assets, Test 1 Texture, Blake Newton, open image. Now, of course, nothing's happened. We need to connect the color to the color channel here, to base color. And okay, the picture is there, but it's facing the wrong way. So let's just go into the UV editing mode. And why is it facing the wrong way? Okay, let's just tab. Let's try just a regular cube projection. Okay, that looks better. So let's just scale this up. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I just unwrapped it using a cube projection rather than the Smart UV Project. Okay, so I'll just show you that again. Tab, make sure the face is selected, U to unwrap, and cube projection, just because it's a very simple plane. Okay, so I'll just make sure that UV is selected, S to scale, and I'm just going to scale the UVs to match the image. Okay, so now back into shading mode, now that the image is sort of facing the right way. One thing we looked at, now this is more useful for if you want to make rendered stills, because the way that we set up this shader here in Blender might not necessarily carry over exactly into Unity. I might have to change some of those settings myself. But we want this TV to kind of give off light as if it's, as if it's a TV, rather than like a poster or something. So the way to do that is I'm going to get rid of this principled BDSF shader and replace it with an emission shader. Just a very simple way to do it. So I'll press X to delete that. Now the TV's gone black. In search, I'm going to put emission, and we can see it's got a lot less options, but I'm just going to connect the color to the color, emission to the surface, and I might put the strength to 3. And we can see that, we've got a very, very basic kind of glow coming from this image. Now, go into rendered mode to show you that a bit better. It kind of looks like a light box at the moment. It's not perfectly set up to be looking like a TV just yet. But for the purposes of our work this week, this very simple solution is fine. Because I just want you to get into the basic pattern of how to set up this TV, and how to get it exported into Unity, just so that we can have a basic visualization of going from the Blender gallery into the Unity gallery. Okay, so there's a TV with something on screen. Let's just add in a few extra objects. Maybe I'll add in a cone, and I don't know, maybe I'll rotate the cone. Rotate it on the y-axis, scale it down, make it a bit smaller. Let's see what we've got here. Move it up a little bit, and hell, maybe I'll wrap the same William Blake image onto it just for fun. So let's just grab that image again, new image texture, and the William Blake one should already be in the project. Yep. Okay, so now I've got a William Blake cone, and let's just add a cube again. I'll scale that 0.5 to make that smaller. Maybe I'll scale that 0.5 again, make it even smaller. I might just go into material preview because my Mac is not really liking all these changes in rendered mode. But okay, so now I'm just going to grab that down on the Z-axis. And, let's put the same, what was this material called? Material 002, let's call this William Blake shape material, and then I'll put the exact same material on the cube. Okay, cool. So look, here's Albert's gallery for this week. 3 objects, all sharing the same material. So, how to export them? First of all, let's take the cube and let's apply all its transforms. So what that's done is it's made sure that the location, rotation are both set at 0 and the scale is set at 1. And let's do the same thing with the cone. At the moment, its location and rotation and scale are lots of variant values. If we apply all the transforms, they've all gone to 0, and I'm going to go ahead and do that for the TV screen, apply all transforms, and for the TV itself. And just to remind you, it's Control A is the shortcut I'm clicking to apply these transforms. Control A, apply all transforms. Now, I want to, okay. So these objects I've added here, they've actually just turned up right down the bottom of the folder hierarchy here. I should probably give them a name as well. So I'm going to call this Albert TV screen. I'll call this one Albert cone, and I'll call this one Albert cube. And let's I think this TV should still be in Albert's gallery. Let's just check that. Let me close the other galleries. Okay, so let's call this Albert TV. Okay, so now to get ready to export, let's just check that they're all at location, rotation 0 and scale 1. Yes, excellent. Okay, so now to export them, I'll just do it one at a time. I'll start with the TV. We go File, Export, Wavefront OBJ. Now, first of all, we select the location. The location is going to be Albert Test 1 Models. Remember, we set up this hierarchy here, and I gave a new folder called Albert Test 1 Assets, and we're going to put the 3D model in the model folder, and I'll give it a name. I'll call it Albert TV. Let's call it Albert Test 1 TV. And now, very important, we have to click this selection only box. If we don't click this, it will export the entire scene, and it might crash your Blender because it's going to try to export a reasonably large file. So make sure selection only is ticked, and that should be enough. Okay, export OBJ. Okay, now let's do the same for the rest of our assets here. Here is the screen, so let's go File, Export, Wavefront OBJ. Let's call it Albert Test 1. I'll just change TV to Screen. Selection only is still ticked because Blender remembers the export settings from the last time. Okay, and then let's export the cone. File, Export, Wavefront OBJ, Albert Test 1 Screen. Let's set that to cone. Selection only is ticked. Excellent. And let's do the cube now. Export OBJ, Test 1, change cone, cube. Selection only is ticked. Scale 1. Excellent. Now I'll just have to check that these are all correct when I get into Unity. If not, I might have to redo this video, but I'll just bring this into Unity and see how it works. Export OBJ. Okay, so now I'll just stop the video and I'll quickly jump into Unity and check that all these settings are correct. Okay, hi everyone. So I've just dragged and dropped the files that we exported from Albert's gallery into Unity, and I'll set Unity running, and you should be able to see that everything is where it's supposed to be. Just let my Mac catch up with itself. Okay, so if you look at the bottom half of my screen, this is sort of the building site of Gallery 3435 at the moment. And okay, we can see if we go through this gallery, in here we've got the objects we added here. We've got the new TV that's on the wall, and we've got the cylinder and the cube. Now you'll notice that I haven't recalculated the lighting or anything yet, so these objects look very flat. But the basic export worked. So all the default settings of Blender with just making sure you export the OBJ with all of the transforms set and tick that box to selection only should mean that from my end I can drag and drop your first installation test into the Unity project and then export a game file that we can all use. Okay, that's enough for this tutorial, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.